Imagine if a Bitcoin wallet that hasn't been used for 14 years suddenly comes to life and transfers 2,000 Bitcoin. Tens of millions of cash, that is. This is where it becomes even more fascinating. This occurs right before Pi Network prepares to deploy its Open Mainnet. Is it a coincidence? Or is there a more profound relationship between the revolutionary future of Pi and the legacy of Bitcoin? What if this isn't simply an old wallet coming back to life? What if it's an indication of Pi Network's future? Let's dissect everything. Please let me know what your thoughts are. Could this be a surprise? Will the Bitcoin revolution affect the pivotal moment for Pi Network? Please feel free to leave a comment with your opinions and see my earlier videos if you're interested in the most recent Pi Network upgrades. The description below includes a link. They'll catch you up completely. Let's also represent the Pi community while you're at it. To demonstrate how worldwide our Pi family truly is, type Pi Network to the moon and your nation in the comments section. Remember to use the like button, subscribe, and tell your friends about this video. With your aid, we can provide you with even more information on Pi Network and the cryptocurrency industry. Please note that this video is not intended to be financial or investment advice. Rather, it is only for amusement reasons. Always conduct research. Okay, let's get started and solve the puzzle. Consider it this way to truly understand why this is such a huge deal. When Bitcoin was nearly worthless, wallets such as these were developed. We are referring to the early days of cryptocurrencies when it was a novel concept rather than a multi-trillion-dollar enterprise. Why, therefore, would someone hoard this much wealth for so long? Why move it now, too? Everyone in the cryptocurrency community is talking about it. Some believe it's a calculated effort to get the market moving. Others are speculating about the enigmatic creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Is this who they are? Who knows? However, there's a lot of delicious speculation, and everyone is curious about how this might affect the cryptocurrency scene. For those of us who love Pi, this is where it gets juicy. To formally penetrate the larger cryptocurrency market, the Pi Network is getting ready to deploy its Open Mainnet, a significant milestone. Could Pi face an opportunity, or perhaps a challenge, as a result of the relocation of these old Bitcoin wallets? Let's dissect it. The whole cryptocurrency market usually pays notice when Bitcoin makes a stir. A significant Bitcoin move can increase market confidence, increase liquidity, and possibly spark a fresh surge of interest in cryptocurrencies. This could be the ideal storm for Pi, a newcomer with lofty goals of upending the space. Imagine Pi riding a wave of market fervor brought on by the most recent turmoil surrounding Bitcoin. It's comparable to a rocket receiving a small boost right before takeoff. Here's another interesting perspective. Bitcoin and Pi may be simply two sides of the same coin. Although it has limits, Bitcoin was created to empower people and decentralize money. It is difficult to use daily due to its high energy consumption, poor transaction speeds, and expensive fees. Here comes Pi Network, with its accessible design, mobile mining, and goal of creating a useful environment for transactions in the real world. Pi seems to be the next chapter in the history of Bitcoin in many respects. Pi seems to be saying, okay, we see what you did there, but let's make this truly user-friendly and scalable, even though Bitcoin laid the groundwork. Who is at the forefront of this movement? The goal of Stanford blockchain expert Dr.Nicholas Kokkalis is to empower everyone, not just the wealthy or tech-savvy. It's almost poetry. The solution was initiated by one project, and another is continuing the tradition to broaden its scope. Is there a deeper connection between this unexpected Bitcoin movement and Pi's vision? Yes, it is a stretch, but it is worth considering. Let's return to usefulness, which is Pi's true value proposition. Pi is concentrating on developing a real economy, whereas Bitcoin has evolved into more of a digital gold standard. Pi users are now establishing a self-contained system of trade by exchanging goods and services on the Pi barter marketplace. Pi is demonstrating its value as more than simply a speculative asset by being used for everything from paying for services to purchasing food. Pi is starting to shift the game in developing nations. To avoid the high costs and lengthy wait times associated with traditional remittance services, people are using it to make cross-border payments. Its potential for microloans and perhaps creating credit systems for the unbanked is being investigated by others. Pi is a promising opportunity for financial inclusion, since it addresses issues that Bitcoin was not intended to address. Every endeavor, of course, has its detractors. Because its core team still retains a large amount of power, some contend that Pi isn't as decentralized as it says it is. Others wonder if Pi's worth will endure if it is listed on public markets. Let's face it, in the realm of cryptocurrency, skepticism is healthy. After all, there have been many projects that make lofty promises but end up delivering very little. The problem is that every innovative concept has its share of detractors. Bitcoin's current state is a reflection of the doubts that early adopters had to face. Whether Pi can fulfill its promise of usefulness and accessibility is the true question. All of this leads us to an intriguing point in the history of cryptocurrency. The legacy of Bitcoin, which continues to make headlines over 10 years later, is on the one hand. Conversely, Pi Network is a newcomer that aims to expand the capabilities of cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, there is this odd and potentially meaningful movement of Bitcoin that resembles a passing of the torch, or at the very least, a spark to start a fire. Will Pi be the cryptocurrency that enables millions of people to use blockchain technology in their daily lives? Both tech enthusiasts and skeptics have expressed interest in this subject. Pi's promise is in its novel mining strategy, which enables users to generate Bitcoin through a smartphone app with little effort. Beyond its creative design, however, demonstrating its practicality will be the true test. Will Pi's goal of creating a crypto ecosystem that is inclusive and broadly accessible be realized? Or will it encounter the same challenges that have thwarted past initiatives? Pi has established itself as a project that places a high value on accessibility and community involvement as the blockchain industry develops. With millions of users globally, its expanding network demonstrates a grassroots movement, in contrast to many top-down crypto ventures. However, there are still issues with its long-term viability, scalability, and economic model. An important turning point will be the forthcoming Open Mainnet launch, which will provide information on the project's technical prowess and practical application requirements.